I turned 4, I asked my parents for a bike, and I got a little sister. Then, when I was 5 and a half, I asked for a puppy, but I got 2 twin brothers. And this year, I'm going to ask for another little sister, and maybe I'll get that bike.
First National Bank, believing in the community, preparing for the future.
Hello and welcome to Press Pass Episode 8. I'm George Anderson, and joining me today is Carol Hinesley, Duckman County Clerk. How are we doing today?
We're doing just fine.
Well, again, I apologize for dragging you out of the office on this busy year. We got, what did you say, 4 elections this year?
4 elections.
Okay. Well, I wanted to bring you on today and talk a little bit about the process that you guys in the office have to go through, and then a little bit about filing and that kind of stuff. So, gearing up for the February election, what all have you guys had to do over there?
Well, to start with, the election for February starts in the prior year.
Mm-hmm.
So in November, we're basically starting for February.
Okay.
So we're ordering the ballots, the ballot stock, and all the supplies it takes to get them here. And then on the time, at the point in time when it's time to start doing the ballot itself, then we have to design the ballot and then send it both to the printer and then to Omaha, Nebraska, because they program the machines we use at the election.
Okay.
So doing all that and figuring out how many ballots to order and making sure we get it done at the right time so that our printer has time to work them in, and then the memory keys that go in the machines that we're having a hard time getting people to use. But that's what we have to do with every election.
I was going to say that's probably every election.
Every election has to be done, like that. So.
And every few years you have just a swamp year, right?
Well, it's every 4 years.
Right.
We've got when it starts with February, with the February preference primary election, and then the April cities and schools, townships when they run, and then in August that's when the election really goes for everybody that's state and federal,
right,
and county. Our county officials run then, and then with the different parties, and then November
wraps it all up.
Settles it all. Just so you can see by getting done in November, and by the time we do all of this after the election information and get it sent and certified, we would be ready to start another election again if we had another one in February.
Never ending, huh?
Never ending, yes.
Well, I know you guys during those election nights, you have some late nights. I've been over there with you guys, working till 10, 11, 12 o'clock, sometimes later. Try to get all those numbers ran through. How many different precincts do we have here in Duckman County?
We have 21 precincts.
21. That's quite a few.
It's enough. It keeps us busy trying to find election judges.
Right.
So anybody that's interested in elections, and would like to be an election judge, we appreciate all the help we can get.
Contact you at the office?
Yep.
And what's that phone number over there?
888-1374.
1374. Well, maybe we'll get some people out there watching that'll be interested and give you a call.
It's a long day, but it's, if you like that sort of thing, then you see the public.
Right.
So if you like that, can be interesting.
Now during the election, you guys post a spreadsheet right there in the center of the courthouse. How long have you guys been doing that?
Well, we've been doing that probably for as long as we've had the machines, so about 8 years.
8 years. And has that really increased the turnout there election night as far as the people coming to see, or?
Yeah, sometimes it does. Yeah, it is. Depends on which elections. There's some don't bring any much interest, but yeah, it does. It helps a lot. It helps us a lot by doing that at the time, because it's in a different format than what we get off of the county machine. Okay. And that format that we can get are what the public is interested in, by the way that we break it down. Right. So it helps us because it's a second way of making sure our machine is doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Okay. Now, how long have you been involved with the elections? just I don't know if you did it before you became clerk. Or?
Yeah, well, I was hired in the summer of 1984.
Okay.
And that's what I was hired in to do was the elections.
Aha.
So, and I caught it at a time we were doing a canvas. They needed extra help, and that was part time. And then the full time registration clerk had left because she had gotten a degree in teaching. So I got the job.
So
and so here I am.
So since '84. Now in that time, has there been any of those elections like we had down in Florida with the Bush?
No.
No issues here.
No, really haven't had anything that, and since we've had our machine, well, even the machine is as good as what our counters were, because the counters, when we did just hand counted, they, it was pretty close to as right as you want to get it, and our machine can do the same thing. So we have a lot of faith in it. We just don't like it when it doesn't want to work right.
Right. Yeah, I know. What you said, the humidity over there sometimes causes issues.
Yeah. And it side doesn't work. And this last time, we had a bad sensor, and they had a hard time figuring it out over the phone. So when they did, we adjusted it, and they come in. So the test that we did last week, it was working fine. So I hope it does. We don't have more problems with it.
How much quicker is the machine than hand counting?
Well, they're hand counting all day long, so that but it would be a whole lot. I mean, if the machine would work right, we should have it done in 2 hours.
Okay.
But we're not.
And closing time is 7 o'clock?
Yeah, polls close at 7.
Okay. Now, before we went on video here, I was talking to you about registration for voting, and you said it's already passed for the February election.
Yes.
But they have, how many weeks was it for the March or April?
Well,
April
4 weeks prior to any election, voter registration ceases for new registered voters. You can change your address and your name at any given time. You can change it at the polls.
Okay.
The judges are equipped to do that too. But the 4 weeks prior is supposed to give us time to get everybody in and the way it is. You can keep registering. Like people are coming in right now and they're registering for the April election, and that's held back and not entered until after the February election.
Now, how does someone go about registering if they haven't registered yet for the April election? Does she need to come over and see you?
It's easier to come in to see us, and we do it right there, and we know they get the card. The city clerks are supposed to be doing it for us. Sometimes, a lot of people get registered at the License Bureau, and some of the other government agencies are do that too, but mostly the License Bureau. And
the quickest and easiest comes to you.
Yeah.
And what's your room number over there at the courthouse?
201.
Now, do you need to register every time you need to vote, or is it just one time?
Just one time, unless you move. If you move, even if you move across the street or right next door, it changes your address by that one number, and it needs to be marked as such. And like I said, you can change it at the polls, so it's not, and you don't have to go from if it's right next door, you don't have to go to another polling place. But
what if, say somebody's name gets mixed up on their registration card? Can that be changed at the polls, or does that need to be coming to the office? That has actually happened to my wife.
The name needed to be changed.
Her middle name was wrong. Wasn't in wrong.
It can be done at the polls. Sometimes you're better off if you're here to come into the office, because then we know for sure. Sometimes those memos don't get right back to us, but they can do it, and they do a good job at it.
Okay.
So, but
now, how many polling places do we have here in Kennett? Is it 5?
5,
Okay.
and then the rural.
Right.
So it sticks.
And about how many people do you have working each polling precinct?
With the way we're doing it now, we can have 4 people working the polling place, and we have to have 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. So.
And now I know we were having up here at the Democrat, we had heard some complaints about some of the people being a little too close to the polling place. Is there some kind of rule in there?
Yeah, there's a 25-foot
okay.
perimeter that
candidates
that the candidates are supposed to know about.
Right.
You know, and know that, so every once in a while you have to go out and get people straightened out.
Right.
You know, but they're always willing to go by it. In years past, we've had the actual tape measure, and we still have it. But you can take it with, if we got a call, you can take it with, but most of the time it's already been solved by the time you get out there.
Right.
So it's because people can't get through most of the time.
Right.
You know, it needs to be clear where your voters want to get to the polling place, and if they got to walk through a crowd, you know, it's not people saying vote for me, then
Right.
it's bad. And then of course then the other people that are running, you know, want things to be done right.
Right.
So
you could wind up with candidates just kind of swarming everybody and slowing them down. And that process actually moves pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You know, once they get into the building, they go go to the table and sign in, and then they take their cards, go to the booth, they do their little business there, come back, drop it in the machine, and they're done, right?
Yeah. Well, it's in the box because we don't, you know, the machine doesn't hold them, but
Right.
they can use the machine. If they would use the machine, they find out it's probably just as fast, but learning to use it, it's not. But really, the machine is not only for handicap, but it's for second chance voting. And the only reason that we have a lot of trouble on election night is the machine knows that you tried to vote twice and you X'd it out or did something with it, that won't count it.
Okay.
Then we have to stop and give it to one of our 4 judges, and when it's set, the 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, they work as a pair, and they have to fix that. They have to redo the ballot. Well, now that takes a while to do. And if they would find a better machine and a smaller machine, it would be quite worth the effort on our part, you know, to get the night over with faster. But
now the ballot cards here, do we use the punch kind or the circle in kind?
no, it's paper ballot.
Okay.
Paper ballot.
Just curious. I don't know if we change that every year, if it was always the same.
No, as long as we've got the machine that we've got, which was a really expensive machine. I mean, you know, we traded it and got a newer machine. And I guess what we're trying to do is get the bugs out of it. I mean, you know, but it is a whole lot faster than our old one was. But
You gotta love technology when it works.
yeah.
When it works being the key.
Still waiting for the federal government to decide we all need to go, you know, the same style of voting, and there'll be another change. But
now, speaking of federal government, didn't they discuss voter ID cards, like with picture IDs and stuff on that? Have you guys had any talk about that over at the courthouse?
Well, at our meetings, some of the county clerks in the state of Missouri are doing it, but
Okay.
it's an expensive venture. I mean, you know, but yeah, they are doing. There's companies that support that, and they have a machine that you can.
Are you very familiar with that, or?
No, you know, I'm afraid to because I think I'd like it, you know, but yeah, it's the voter ID. As long as you've got your driver's license, you know, but they still want the voter card,
Right.
but they haven't, since they won't pay for it, but maybe with some grant money that might be out there to help. It's hard for some counties to go in that direction. So.
It's kind of hard to find grant money for the whole nation.
That they can't do that. No, they can't do that. So.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, or give anybody out there a heads up on? Or?
Well, just that the proof of publication of the ballot will be coming out next week.
Okay.
It'll show the different ballots that are going to be there.
Shows all the races, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do have another thing on the ballot. The ballot is structured so that it's got uncommitted on it, an oval, and there's 4 different ballots. So each one of them has uncommitted at the bottom. And if you don't want to vote for anybody that's there, but you want to vote for your party, you would want to mark the oval uncommitted.
Okay.
Because the idea behind that with the state of Missouri and any other states is that they know then how many Democrats, Republicans, Constitution, you know,
Mhm.
the Libertarian, those ballots, they know how many people are actually interested in that race itself as a party and not as a person.
So that helps them identify if we're going to be a blue or red state.
Yes, and I think the more votes in one in any direction gives us, you know, more votes at the central meetings, you
Okay.
know, up the road when they start all that. So
All right. Anything else?
I don't know, can't think of anything else right now.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you for stopping by, and to the people out there watching, I appreciate you stopping in and listening to me and Carol as we go through some of the election and voting processes. And what day is the election again?
February 7th is.
February the 7th. So don't forget to go out to your polls and don't forget to vote. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.